Well, the arrow is pointing up in Minneapolis. The Gophers coming off a 25-win season, ended with a WBIT championship just a year after reaching the WNIT title game. Head coach Don Plitzuweit turns her entire core, including Mara Braun, whose year was cut short a season ago. We'll hear from her and Amaya Battle in just a moment. But first, let's begin with the head coach of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Coach Plitzuweit, thank you so much for making some time. How is your media day going so far?
Yeah, so far so good.
So far so good. All right.
I heard this was a tough.
I was just going to say, now you're sitting next to Elise Woodward.
Pressure on.
So
I'm ready.
All bets are up.
There's a reason why you're furthest away from the coaches.
Only three coaches have left crying from the set so far. So
it's allergies. It's allergy season.
You look at who you return. I mean, what a luxury to have so many core members back. And I think about what you guys were able to do last year to end the season. Very few teams get to end the season feeling good and carrying off some hardware from the court. What did that run do for you guys?
Well, it gave us 5 more games to prep and practice for. But I think along that path, we learned so much about how we need to do things better, more consistently. We shot the ball better in the last 4 games of the season in the WBIT. We shot at a 39% clip from the arc, where before that we were below that, about 10 percentage points in the Big Ten season. And so why? And then we look at what did that process look like? And so how do we repeat that process that we can now apply to this year and continue to get better?
Coach, I love your background. You just talk about process, and your background was you didn't think you were going to be a coach, and you went a totally different direction. Tell people about your degree and what you thought you were going to be doing when you were 22 years old.
Well, when I was 22, I thought I was going to be a high school teacher, either a math teacher or a biology teacher. And so I love the analytics of the game. I love to use the analytics to help teach our players about the game because that's a lot of fun for me. You know, and there is a process when you're looking at equations in either math or biology. So basketball shouldn't be that much different. And then coaching, I did think I was going to be a coach, but I thought I'd be a 6th grade coach. Very specific, I know. But then now this happened, and about 3 decades later, still loving it and having a great time.
You've never had a losing season in your career. That's incredible, the consistency for you to do that. What do you point to as the reason why you can make the most out of every roster year after year?
Well, I think it comes down to our pillars, really, and our building blocks within our program of toughness. And people think toughness is just defense and defensive grit and get on the floor and take charges. And while it is those things, it's also doing little things really well. We qualify that in our toughness category, and for us that means you're continuing to get better all the time. Then there's the togetherness piece. Figure if you're going to be tough and you're going to play together, good things can happen. And then the third component is find a way. And a lot of times, especially, and we've had this the last 2 seasons at Minnesota with injuries hitting us at a very high level, then we've had to find a way to do things that maybe differently than we have in the past.
I think what you just said about the togetherness is, I think, something to, and you've said that this is special sauce of this group right now. It already feels like is the togetherness. There's been a lot of talented teams that haven't gone on to do what they've wanted to do because they are missing that element. So how do you as a coach, and Elise talks about what you've been able to do at all these different stops, you've never had a losing season, how do you build togetherness within a squad?
Well, we're very specific about how we do it on the basketball court, how tightly we huddle, and if we don't huddle tightly enough, we go practice it again, to how we encourage each other and what that looks like, and writing notes to each other and building each other up on the court. But then we're also very, very intentional in doing it together off the court, whether that's lake days and putting them on the inner tubes or letting them fish or whatever the case is, or through all of our community service activities together, but book studies that we do together. So it's very, very important to us. We don't just hope that it happens. You know, we certainly are very specific in the type of young ladies that we recruit, but at the same time, we want them to continue to grow that. And this group has that at a very, very high level. They trust each other. They love each other. They trust each other. And because of that, they can now hold each other accountable, which I think people think that that's a negative thing. But the reality is you've got to trust each other in the game. And when you can say communicate all you want, but sometimes you just have to kind of know this player is going to go make a play at this point in time, so I've got to be prepared to back her up in a different way.
You took Minnesota to the top 25 last year, and that was despite missing Mara Braun. And she played 5 games for you and was putting up great numbers, and then all of a sudden you lose one of your best scorers, but you still had such a successful season. She's back.
Yes!
Woo! That's all I got to say. Take it away, Coach, because she is such a difference maker for you. Like, you go from being a good team to now what with Mara back?
Well, with Mara, I think what this team now has a challenge to do is to figure out how to play together, because we have a lot of players who have played in different ways and maybe played a lot of minutes and now can play harder in shorter spurts. So I thought last year we had games where we had very good minutes. we just couldn't sustain those minutes long enough. Our consistency wasn't where it needed to be, but we had some young ladies that were playing an awful lot of minutes. And so now we have, and I think for us, it's not just players returning, but the players that have returned for us have gotten significantly better. Their skill has really grown, their understanding has grown, and they're continuing to play harder and more together.
Well, and Amaya Battle, one of the other player that you brought here today, where have you seen her progress?
Well, Amaya Battle is someone who definitely, you talk about togetherness and you talk about fun, that's what this team has. And Amaya is a very, very key component in bringing that onto the court at all times. I think she plays with great, great joy and energy. At the same time, I think she is someone that we can now use this year in different ways. So in the past, she's had to have the ball in her hands a lot and handle it a lot, where sometimes when you get it off a pass, you can attack in a totally different way. And so this year, I think we have the flexibility to use her. We learned a little bit of that in the WBIT. Really, in our home game against Gonzaga, she had to really defend inside. We're like, well, that didn't work, that's Amaya. And all of a sudden, I was like, well, that's a really good strategy. We should try that more often. And so it allows us to play her this year, I think, in a little different capacity than we have in the past.
Well, Coach, I just want to say there are countless sixth graders out there who are not as good at math because of the decision that you took, but there are a lot of amazing young women who have gotten to develop because of the path that you chose.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's great to visit with you and look forward to watching the Golden Gophers this year.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time as we take a look at some of the non-conference and conference matchups that Minnesota has coming up. A fun schedule ahead. November matchups with Marquette and Kansas. Thanksgiving in the Bahamas for the Pink Flamingo Championship. Elise has volunteered to tag along as the water girl in case you need one. At home, it's a great slate, too. The top 5 teams from the Big Ten last year all coming to the barn. So Gopher fans, get your tickets and your popcorn ready. Mike and Shimmy, always ready with Mara Braun and Amaya Battle. Guys.
We sure are, Ashley. Thanks. Glad to have Amaya and Mara here with us. And if I wanted to tick you off, I'd start off with a question about your injury. But I'm not going to do that. I do want to know, Shimmy and I talk all the time about the changing landscape of college basketball, but society as well. We worry about mental health, which is a good thing. What did you learn through the process on how to handle being stuck on the sidelines? You did nothing wrong, but you had to deal with it. What did you learn about that?
It was hard. I mean, I think, unfortunately, it's a common thing that you go through an injury in sport. And so I think the main thing for me was just relying on my teammates, the people close to me. I mean, lucky for me, I was 30 minutes from home. So going through both surgeries, I was at home with my parents helping me through that. And so I'm just so thankful to have the culture we do and the people we do that you can really rely on those people. I think that's the only way really through it.
And Amaya, you guys had to deal with not having the heartbeat of your team all season long. And you found a way at the end of the year to really gain momentum. You make it to the WBIT and you win it. What was that like at the end of the year?
It was really fun. I mean, we came together after we really wanted to make the tournament, didn't get an opportunity, but we still got another opportunity to keep playing, which we were super grateful for. And we came together and we're like, if we're here, we're going to win it. And I think it showed a lot of toughness. I mean, we had to win, 5 games in a row to do that, and only one of them were at home. So I think we showed a lot of toughness and resilience. And like you said, we gained a lot of momentum that we can bring into this year.
So speaking of this year, so we have a WNIT championship appearance as sophomores, WBIT championship as a junior. Is it safe to say senior year, redshirt junior year, NCAA or bust?
I mean, yeah, we want to be playing our best basketball around that time, so yeah.
I want to know something, because you two have known each other for a long time. Tell me something about her that I don't know, and you tell me something about her that I don't know.
Oh boy. Mara is really funny in a weird way. Like sometimes she just does weird things.
Like
I
what?
can't describe it. No, I can't describe it. It's just like, I don't know, just something I can't.
If you can't describe it, that's just a random insult.
No,
I mean,
it
we need a
is,
specific example.
Like the team knows what I'm talking about. I don't know. Come back to me. I'll give you a specific one.
Well, I'd say for her, I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to say she's a really good photographer, I think, especially these past 3-4 years. Just I feel like her outlook on life and just being in the precious present was what we talk about with Coach P, but I think it really is true for her, and just making sure she's always where her feet are, especially she's gone through a lot that a young person it's hard to do, and I think her outlook on life now is just really cool to watch.
You guys, no.
Oh, you got it?
I got it.
No, please.
So to change it, I feel like a lot of the times you see Mara on the court and she's super intense, super into it, or like in an interview setting, she's really like professional, put together. But I guess what I meant is like off the court, she's a really like fun and loose person to be around as well. That's that's a better way to put it. There we go.
How close you guys are, it's obvious just sitting here and watching you two interact together. You guys came in together. And we don't know what you'll do after this year, or what you'll decide to do, but you're still here 4 years later. What's the significance of that?
We love it here. I mean, Minnesota's where we grew up, and it's the university we wanted to come and play. Obviously, wanting to come play under Coach Way, and then things happen. And I mean, I think everything happened for a reason. But just us four deciding that we figured it was best for ourselves, our families, and just the program to stay and work through it, and we did. And I think this year is really going to show everything we had been through and how it's all going to come together.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think in just today's age, like you can kind of move around, bounce around, but we had a core four that really stuck together. And like she said, like we love it here. We committed here because we wanted to turn the program around, and here we are, continue to do that. And I think we're starting to see some success from that, from our WBIT championship.
You've had some good bonding too. You go to the cottage for Coach Plitz, right? Not that far away. Who's the best and worst tuber on the team?
Tori's the best tuber.
Weird fact, she's a really good tuber. Like
Yeah.
I think she actually went tubing for 2 hours straight and fell off once maybe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yeah. It's a weird fact, but
Amaya, thanks for your time.
Thank
Have a
you.
great season.
Thank you.
Thanks.